Hi everyone, this is William from the Headphone Experience, and I'm here to tell you about my first impressions of the Hifiman Sundara. I've had these for about 3 days now, and I've only had a chance to put about maybe 6 hours on them, but I wanted to tell you what I thought about them. This is just my initial impression, not a lengthy review at all. But first I wanted to point out how much different they look than any of the other previous Hifiman headphones. Everything from a different headband to different yokes to different grills to a different ear cup. It's a nice looking headphone. The ear cups are now made of, I believe it's aluminum. They have a different grill, which is a woven mesh. The yokes, which there were some problems with, several people had problems with the plastic yokes breaking, and they've been replaced with what I believe is an aluminum yoke. The headband is a little bit different than compared to the 400i or the 560. It has a click adjustment, little bit sticky, but I'm guessing that'll loosen up over time. Tapered ear cups, if you can see that. They are thicker in the back, thinner in the front. Pretty lightweight. I'd say about the same weight as the 400i and 560. Pretty comfortable headphone. Not bad at all. The one thing that I wanted to point out that is different is there's no swivel on the yokes anymore. They're a solid mount, but there is a little bit of flex in it, so it's not really a problem for me. They feel pretty comfortable, and I found that if they're not sitting exactly the way you want them, rotating the band a little bit forward or back on your head can change the pressure from more front to back, so it actually works out. It's pretty simple design, but I have no problem with it. The cable is a little bit different. It's a rubbery material. Not sure if I'm crazy about that, but I don't have any complaints about it. The cable's detachable, and they did change the plugs from a 2.5 millimeter to a 3.5 millimeter. So probably more durable than the old plugs. At the other end, it's now 1/8 inch plug, but they do come with a 1/4 inch adapter. Sound wise, like I said, I've only got about maybe 6 hours on these, and I've never have been sure if this is really intended to be a replacement for the 400i or the 560, or maybe somewhere in between, maybe a replacement for both of them. I've never heard the 400i, but I have hundreds of hours in on the 560, so I can compare it to that. I initially thought that this would probably be either a step down from the 560s or at best a step sideways. And so far, listening to these, I would say it's definitely not a step down from the 560s. It's at least a step sideways, possibly even a step up. I'm not sure yet. They obviously haven't been broken in yet, and that's a debatable subject right there. I mean, there's a lot of controversy. Do headphones need to be broken in or not? Is there any reality to it? Does the sound really change, or does our brain just adjust to the headphones? Hifiman does advise a 150-hour break-in period or burn-in period, so I guess to be fair, I really shouldn't do a intense review of these until they have had that time. My Hifiman 560s have been broken in. They have hundreds of hours in them, and I do believe that they did improve a little bit. Not There isn't a significant difference, but I believe that the bass extension improved a little bit and they just mellowed out and sound smoother. So to compare those to these right now probably isn't fair, but to be honest, these sound really good right out of the box to me. I mean, I put these on with no break-in at all, and I really have no complaints about them. In fact, the sound, in my opinion, is very close to the 560s. Not exactly the same. There are some subtle differences, and it's going to take a few hours of listening to really be able to understand those differences and put them to words. And I will post a longer review of these in the future. But for right now, I would say these sound very similar to the 560s. They might have slightly more bass impact. And the 560s, which a lot of people thought were a little bit too bright, these might be a little less bright. The detail on these is every bit as good as the 560s, and the 560s are known for being extremely detailed. In my personal opinion, the 560, which is now, what, a 3 or 4 year old headphone, has just been kind of forgotten, but it was a highly rated headphone a few years ago. And retailed at $8.99, and sold at that price for 3 years, where these are selling for $4.99, and in my opinion, this is a fantastic headphone for that price. Like I said, I haven't had a chance to really listen, put a lot of time in on them, and I haven't had a chance to break them in yet or burn them in, so I'm assuming they will do nothing but get better. But at this point, I really have nothing I can say bad about these headphones. I have no complaints. They're a very balanced sound from the lowest bass to the treble. Very even, they're smooth, they're detailed, and there is absolutely nothing that I have to say bad about these headphones at this point. That may change over time. I plan to listen to these as much as I can over the next few weeks and do a longer review. But for right now, my initial impression 3 days into these headphones are that this is a great headphone. I have no complaints at all about it. Thanks again. This is William from the Headphone Experience, and I will be posting a longer review in a few weeks. I hope you watch. I thank you for watching this, and I hope you watch that too. Thank you.